And then I want to set out and find out how many demos they'd have to book up based on their closing ratio and their average order to actually hit it. Chances are they're probably going to have to book in the neighborhood of 30 to 35 appointments. That's about what it takes. When you study these fast start profiles, as I have, it generally takes in the neighborhood of 30 to 35 appointments in the first 10 days to sell 10,000. I assume they've probably completed 8 their first weekend. Now, part of the plan, by the way, and let me make this very clear, part of the plan is we want to keep somebody on their initial names list as long as possible. I don't want somebody who's going for 10,000 to call their referrals during their fast start. I truly believe that a rep can at least hit 15,000 CPO before they ever need to pick up a referral. Most of your reps in training come in with 50 names and numbers of qualified MAC appointments. They book up 10 of those their first weekend, leaving them with 40, and yet they're calling their referrals right after advanced training. What happened to all those 40 plus people that they didn't see, that they know were qualified, that if they called, they would get a for sure appointment with, specifically just because they know them? Right? So I want to keep my people on that list as long as possible, and that is part of the plan. So I'm going through their schedule, and I'm mapping out everything. And during the schedule, it's pretty much just cut. You're either on a demo, you're at the office, or you're making calls. And it's pretty much just cut. Let me tell you the number one thing that makes it into the schedule, more than anything else, more than office time, more than demo time, is phone time. And it's during the schedule that I'm trying to build up the phone as much as possible to let them know that this is really what they're committing to. This is really what they're doing. That's the activity that gets them everything that they need. A nice, easy phrase for you to remember as a manager that's always helped me out is, I want to show my people a clear path for success. So before my schedule is over, I want to show them a clear path for success where they can easily see how everything is going to play out. There is no doubt in their mind whether or not they have a surefire plan to hit 10,000. Number 4, set the challenge. Set the challenge. Folks, I want to make sure that we do not become unrealistic promoters. I think it's very important to give realistic expectations to our people. And so I spend an entire section during this PC building up the challenge. I give them realistic expectations, and I will tell you this is your key for not losing your people during the fast start. Okay? So some of the phrases that I use will be, hey, listen, you're trying to, again, we've got a great plan, but as your manager and somebody who's worked for the company for quite some time and been through this program many times with many different people, I want to let you know that at some point you're going to face some very major obstacles. There's going to be a day in your fast start where everything is going to go wrong. You'll literally have 12 demos, and all 12 will reschedule. Right before your biggest demo, your girlfriend's going to break up with you. Your boyfriend's going to break up with you. You're in your best customer's driveway, and you blow a tire out. You've got to get your car towed out of their driveway. Your dog's going to get out. I don't know what's going to happen for you, but what I do know is that at some point, you're going to have that moment where you will be tested. Mentally, emotionally, physically, you will be tested. And at that moment, the thought will cross your mind of whether or not you can do it. I'm going to tell you, folks, that happens for everybody. That's part of the game. That's part of selling 10,000. I mean, look, you're trying to do something that less than 1% of people in the company actually do, so you will face challenges. But it's not the challenges that are important. It's how you respond to those challenges. And the most important moment of your fast start is that moment of decision where you will be faced with the challenge of what to do next. And it's at that moment that I want you to call me. Now again, the reason that I really build up the challenge, and I get more in depth even than what I'm saying now, But the reason that I build up the challenge so big is because they will face challenges. Some of them will face days worth of challenges. It's usually going into that second weekend, and I'm sure Nathan will touch on this, so I don't want to step on his toes. But the reason I am sharing this with you guys is because if you do a good job setting it up in advance, if you prep them that they will face these challenges, when it happens, they won't get off their rocker, they're going to call you, and you can manage their emotions. And you can do what is necessary to keep them on pace. Number 5 is to get the commitment. Get the commitment. And the note that I would tell you for this is, you need to ask them straightforward. You need to be very straightforward with them and just say, hey, is this something you can commit to? Now, let's all be clear on what they're actually committing to. This is really key. None of your reps who are making a commitment to 10,000 are committing to the CPO. So I'm not looking for a CPO commitment. I'm not looking for somebody to tell me they're going to sell 10,000. In fact, I don't even ask for that. What I'm looking for is a commitment to the activities that will get them to the 10,000. Coming into the office in the morning to make calls. Calling in after all your appointments. Coming to the office at night every night to turn in your orders and make more calls. Being on the phone 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day. You know? Making a top 50 people to see list. Things like that. The activities, right? If I want to lose weight, I don't make a commitment to the weight goal. I make a commitment to the activities. And that's what's so key. So that's what you want to get them committed to. Number 6 is to give them their assignments. Give them their assignments. I'm not going to cover those assignments because we covered them last time. Number 7, explain your management style. So again, each person's personality is different, and I think you all know yourselves well enough to say, hey, listen, this is the way that I coach, and I just want to be upfront with you about the way that I'll manage you. You know, I'm probably going to send you a couple text messages throughout the day and check in on you and, things like that. And when you call and tell me you just made a sale, I'm probably going to say, hey, great, tell me how many you got for tomorrow, and, and I'm not going to give you the impression that it's ever enough. That's the type of manager that I am, because I want to see you win. So, whatever it is for you, you would want to explain it so that you don't rub somebody the wrong way and potentially lose a great representative for yourself right there. And number 8 is to dream talk. To dream talk. All dream talks start out with, can you imagine if ... Gosh, could you imagine, if you got a paycheck of $2,000 and that's the first paycheck you showed to your parents? Could you imagine making more in 10 days than your friends will for the entire summer? Could you imagine being able to walk into your next interview and the potential interviewer says, gosh, why should we hire you? And you look them dead straight in the eye and you say, well, I feel like I'm pretty qualified. I started with a $250 million national marketing company. Did so well, I was promoted 4 times in my first 10 days. Eclipsed 30% commissions, earned over $2,000. And the list goes on and on. So I share those things with you because the dream talk is also that last way that we want to leave them on a really positive note. Okay? I'm going to leave you guys with this. The best leadership lesson I can tell you when it comes to the 10kpc, the best lessons I've learned in leadership, I've learned from a piece of string. Right? Best leadership lessons I've ever learned, I learned from a piece of string. Let's say I took a piece of string, a piece of thread, and I put it on a table like this. If I pushed it forward, it's just going to ball up. Can we all agree to that? Okay? So I don't want to push my reps. Does that make sense? I don't want to be like, man, I want you to sell this 10K. I want. Now, let's take that same piece of string. If I pulled the string, I can keep it in a straight line. I can pull it in any direction I want it to go. And it's always going to follow me exactly the way I want it to. And that's the type of 10kpc that we want to do here in the Southwest region. We want our people